All right, I think we are live. There may be a bit of a delay between the video you're seeing. I know I say this every week, and the live chat that's going right now. But I think we are live right now. Let me know if the audio is good. You can hear me. Let me know if the video is good. We should be getting 1080p HD quality in this live stream tonight. That's part of the reason why there's a delay, there's a lag between what you see and what I see in the live chat, because 1080p takes a while to make it from me to you. All right. I think we're good. We already have over 100 people in this live stream. So, okay, we're good on audio. Thank you, Bonesy Boy. Thank you, Kay. Audio is great. Awesome. All right, Derpy, our moderator who is with us tonight, thank you, Derpy, says we have 1080p video, which is great. Just to let you know, if you see, like, for example, Derpy and Kay in the live chat, they have little green Apple Explained logos next to their name. That's because they're a member of my secret club. Also, that means that after this live stream ends, they're going to be a part of an extra hour live stream with members only. My secret club is just my nickname for the channel memberships feature for Apple Explained. It's my channel. And if you want to join, there's a link in the description if you want a badge next to your name, if you want an extra hour of live streaming every week. So right now, this is a public live stream from 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 9 p.m. And then after this stream ends, I'm starting another stream right afterward. And that's going to be for members only. So far, we have about 11 members. So there's probably only going to be like 3 or 4 people in the live stream after this one. So if you want my full attention and you want to ask me questions and get answers to all your questions, you should join the secret club now, because there aren't that many people. As more people join, obviously it's going to be more like what the public live streams are, with, you know, a lot of people asking a lot of questions. All right, Omar Awad said, love your videos. I've been binge watching them during this quarantine, although I'm not generally a fan of Apple products due to their closed ecosystem, the Apple tax, their price, etc. Well, I appreciate you watching my videos even though you're not a big Apple fan. Yeah, I mean, there are things about Apple products. I understand why people wouldn't want to buy Apple products because of their priorities when choosing a product. For example, you mentioned the closed ecosystem. For another person, that means a seamless ecosystem. It means a really easy way to manage all your devices because they pretty much manage themselves. Rather than if you have an Android smartphone, you have a Windows PC, you have a Google smartphone, Android tablet, and then a Windows PC. You're managing all those applications yourself, you're managing all your devices yourself, which is it can be annoying for some people. We have a new secret club member, and it's my mom. Jeanette Wyatt, thank you very much for joining my secret club. All right, guys, since my mom joined, we're gonna have to make another club. Oh my God. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. All right, we have some super chats. Project Bape, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, number 1, is the HomePod worth it? Number 2, is the new SE, the new SE or the 12? Okay, number 1, is the HomePod worth it? For me, it's not worth $300. It definitely wasn't worth the $350 that it initially retailed for. But I do want to mention that I did not pay $300 for my 4 HomePods that you can probably see in this live stream. I paid maximum $185. So I got my first HomePod for $100 used on OfferUp. It's an app where people sell items locally. I got my second HomePod from OfferUp for $185. I got my third HomePod from Facebook Marketplace for $180. $80. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I got my third and fourth HomePod. My last two I got from Best Buy. They were having a sale. It was $177. They were store returns. So I never paid full price. So in my opinion, they're worth it because I got them for under $200 each. But I wouldn't really recommend paying $300 for them. You can find them used for a lot less. Aran said, when will the next live stream be? So if you're not a member, the next public live stream is going to be next Saturday. I do a public live stream for 1 hour every Saturday night. But if you join the secret club, then you have another live stream for an extra hour right after this one finishes. Lil GBY said, are AirPods overpriced? I don't think so. I think, as you can see, they're selling extremely well. They're the best-selling headphones in the world. So I think the price is just fine. Low quality videos. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Again, if you guys want to get your questions answered for sure, you can send a super chat. It'll highlight your question and it'll answer it. Because there's already, over 100 people asking me questions. Low quality videos said, are you going to make time? Are you going to make the time for live streams earlier? I actually already made them earlier. I went from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. that hour back to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I already moved it back an hour. I probably won't move it back anymore, but we'll see. It's hard to get a time that's good for everybody because everybody is in different time zones. Everybody's in different countries. So there's really no way to satisfy everybody. Massimo F said, how is the Magic Keyboard? It's doing pretty well. I like it a lot. I have the new keyboard for my iPad Pro where I can type on it. I can use a trackpad, which is a game changer. I really, really like it. I actually type all of my scripts for my videos on my iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. I really like it. I'm just getting used to the narrow trackpad. Vertical gestures are a little uncomfortable because the trackpad's so narrow, but it is nice and wide. Also, the keyboard is a bit smaller than the standard keyboard on my MacBook Pro, so that means I have to kind of adjust when I go from my Magic Keyboard for iPad Pro to my MacBook Pro. I have to kind of adjust between those sizes keyboards. All right. Lauren Murphy, thank you for that $5 super chat. Lauren said, is the iPod Touch worth it? Base model for my kid. Yeah, the iPod Touch, it's $200 now. I think it's definitely worth it. If you want to save a little bit more money, maybe you could save $20 or $30. You can always go on eBay. You can look for the iPod Touch you want new, in new condition, sealed. And usually you can save $20 or $30 that way. It may not be worth it if it's less convenient. But no, the iPod Touch is definitely still worth it. They just updated it a couple years ago. But it does have a processor that will do everything your child wants to do with it. And it's nice just because the iPod doesn't have a cellular connection, so you're not paying for, a monthly fee. Shane Wyatt, thank you for that. Thank you for becoming a member. Shane is my brother. This is going to become my family club. We have like 10 members and 2 of them are my family. So this is just another way for me to get my family to support me. Thank you, Shane, for joining my secret club. Oh my God. There was also a super chat from Mark Larimore. There was a $1 super chat from Mark, but he didn't send a question. But thank you for the support, Mark. I really appreciate it. Jose Cauldron said, do you think Apple is losing their position and starting to follow other brands' choices? I don't think so. I'm not sure in what way you're referring. You could say that Apple is kind of following the lead of other companies when it comes to services because they're focusing so much on services. They're creating a whole bunch of new services. For example, Apple TV Plus trying to compete with Netflix, or trying to compete with Amazon Prime, or trying to compete with Disney Plus. But it just depends on what you're focusing on, because in other ways, Apple is leading the industry. I mean, Apple has revolutionized the headphone market. They're leading that. They're leading the the smartwatch market with the Apple Watch. They're still leading the tablet market with the iPad. They pretty much defined the notch design language with the iPhone 10. They're leading in that space. They're leading the budget smartphone market with the new iPhone SE. There is no other smartphone in the budget category that can compete. Also, I realized I didn't answer Project Bape's second question. His second question was the new SE or the 12. If you're deciding between the new iPhone SE or the iPhone 12, which should be coming out at the end of this year, it's not out yet. It depends what market you're in. If you're in the budget smartphone market, then buy the SE. If you're in the premium smartphone market because you have $1,000 to spend on a new phone, then just buy the iPhone 12. But it depends on your budget. Daniel, our moderator, thank you for being here tonight, Daniel. He said, are we going to have an after stream today? Yes, there will be an after stream after the members live stream. So around 10 p.m., after 10 p.m., I will be on Discord. If you guys don't know what Daniel is talking about, he's referring to our Discord server, which is free to join. There's a Discord server, and then there's the secret club, which costs $3 a month. The Discord server is free. And after the live streams, I go over to the Discord server, and everyone gets to ask one question per person on the after stream section of Discord. And then I go over there later on. It'll be about an hour after this live stream ends. And then I answer all those questions for you guys. But again, if you're a member, you can ask questions in the secret club section of our Discord server anytime, and I'm always there to answer them in a video. Celery Towers, thank you for that $2 super chat. Celery Towers said, how did you get to love Apple? I've been asked this a couple times before, and I'll answer it again. I like to tell a story. It all began back in, 2005, I think. I think I was 12 years old. Well, really, it started earlier than that. Really, it started in like 2001 when I saw the 4th generation iMac, or the iMac G4. It was the most beautiful computer I had ever seen in my life. It was probably the most beautiful product I had ever seen. And I saw it in person at Micro Center, which is a computer like super center in a few cities across the country. But at the time, I was only 8 years old, so I didn't really understand that Apple was a company that made that iMac. I didn't even really understand that it was an iMac. I just saw that computer and I liked it a lot. But I never made the connection between it and Apple until I tried out the iPod, 5th generation iPod, the iPod Video in 2005. I was 12 years old. I was in 6th grade. I was at one of my friend's birthday parties. One of his friends had that iPod. He let me try it. Try it out. I used it. I thought it was incredible. I loved the click wheel. The experience was so smooth and amazing. I loved the interface. It was so simple. The hardware was absolutely stunning. I just wanted it to use because I thought it was so cool to use. I didn't even really listen to music that much, but I saved up for it. I spent $300 on my first iPod, and I bought that iPod Video, and it was amazing. I loved it. Then it kind of got me into music because, I mean, that's really all you could do with it was play music. That's how I started to love Apple. That's when I realized, oh my gosh, the same company that made this is the same company that made the iMac that I fell in love with, 4 years ago. And then, I started doing a whole bunch of research on the company. Mark Larimore, thank you. This is your second super chat of the night. Mark, thank you for that. Mark asked, that's a $5 super chat from Mark Larimore. Thank you. Does Apple usually announce new products the first day of WWDC? That's a good question because WWDC usually lasts what, like 7 days or 14 days? I think 7 days. It's a week. Usually the keynote is on the first day, I believe. I may be wrong, but usually it's either on the first or second day, and that's when they announce all their new products. Because for the rest of the week, they want developers to test out those new products to make apps for them, and they want the press to see them and take pictures and cover it and review those products for the following week in order to get as much media coverage as possible. Diagon57, thank you for that $5 super chat. You guys can just become members and then ask me all these questions on Discord or on the stream after this. But I really appreciate those nice super chats. Diagon said, and Apple is the ARM creator advancing the latest chips. I guess so. I think there's probably a few different companies making their own processors. I think Huawei has been making their own Kirin line of processors. I believe it's ARM. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really excited for the ARM processor that's coming. Rumors say coming to the MacBooks next year. I'm waiting on a new MacBook Pro with ARM, with a new design, with a new display, thinner bezels. I'm really excited to see what the next big redesign of the MacBook Pro has in store. I'm planning on dropping a lot of money on that machine because it'll be my first YouTube machine. Because I didn't buy this computer until 2017, the one I have right now, and I wasn't doing YouTube full time until probably the beginning of 2000 or mid 2018 I started doing YouTube full time. So now I know exactly what I want in my next MacBook Pro, and I want a lot of storage, and that's going to cost a lot of money. Kay, one of our secret club members, thank you for that $2 super chat. I really appreciate that, Kay. They said, how's Daiki, and is he going to join your stream? Excuse me. Daiki is in Japan right now. He's in Tokyo, and I'm in Columbus, Ohio. So he can't be on my stream right now. I guess we could try to do a weird Zoom meeting, but I really, really don't like that. The delay is just killer. And I mean, imagine there's a delay between me and you guys, and then there's going to be a delay between me and Daiki. So imagine the delay between Daiki and you guys. It's just going to be a mess. But he will be in my live stream in the future. I'm planning on visiting him this fall. Probably in a few months, I'll be in Japan. Things are already starting to get better with the virus situation because I had planned on visiting Japan 4 months ago, but then this whole virus thing happened and I couldn't. But once we're together, him and I, physically together, then he can be on my stream if he wants to. Aron Raseki said, what do you think about the Apple glasses? Will it be a huge success like the original iPhone? I think I answered this last week, I think. Yeah. I think if Apple decides to make a headset, I think the headset is going to be a different kind of product than the glasses. Because supposedly they're working on the headset first, something like an Oculus Rift or something. And then later on will be the glasses, maybe a couple years after. I think the glasses are going to be the thing that really revolutionizes technology. I think it's going to start a new era of technology. And I think it has the potential to be even bigger than the iPhone. And I think it has the potential to replace the iPhone, which would be absolutely huge. Ness Ramos, our secret club member, said, I'm too poor to afford super chats tonight. No problem, Ness. You were very generous last weekend. Last weekend, you donated $69, I think. Yeah, they said, oh yeah, it was on Monday. Ness said I used it all Monday. Yeah. We had a live stream on Monday celebrating the new secret club. Again, if you guys want to see an extra hour of live streaming, join the secret club, link in the description. Yeah, you donated a lot on Monday, Ness. We have another super chat from Kylan Wilson. Kylan, thank you for that $2 super chat. Kylan said, I need an update for tablets, Samsung Tab or iPad. Okay, definitely. I always recommend an iPad. I always recommend an iPad. Even if you have like a Samsung phone, even if you have an Android phone, I don't even recommend an Android tablet. It's really, really hard to find a good Android tablet. There's so many, what's the word? I don't want to say problems, but just like shortcomings with Android tablets, way more than Android smartphones. And that's why the iPad has dominated the tablet market for so long. I mean, geez, it's almost been 10 years since the iPad has been out, and competition still hasn't been able to catch up. So I definitely recommend an iPad. Hazy Product said, what do you use to edit? I use Final Cut Pro. Apple Pro said, if I gave you $2,000 to get a computer at an Apple store, what computer would you get? Well, $2,000 is not enough to get a 16-inch MacBook Pro. So I guess I wouldn't be able to get that. I guess I would get the MacBook Air, like totally maxed out. That would be pretty cool. But the MacBook Pro I want would cost probably $4,000 or $5,000, which is a lot of money. Lucas said, iMac 2020 thoughts. Yeah, I don't think a new iMac is coming this year. I think it may be coming next year. Although, since a couple rumors said like late next year, I think in reality, it'll probably be the year after. Probably early to mid 2022. We'll probably see a complete iMac redesign. I expect it to be pretty dramatic. I expect it to be pretty incredible. The iMac is overdue for a redesign, not just a refresh. And then when that happens, I'm hoping they also have the iMac Pro ready, because the standard iMac has become so competitive. Its performance has become so good that there's a lot of overlap between it and the iMac Pro. I recommend buying the base model iMac over the iMac Pro, even if you need performance, just because it's gotten so good and it's just a much better value. Shane Gibbons said, I can't tell if that room is real or not. This is a real room, and I will prove it. I will prove it. This is a real room. It's real. Don't mind my shorts. My comfy shorts. Camran Denzier said, do you think AR, which means augmented reality glasses, will be dependent on the iPhone to start with? That's very possible. I definitely think when Apple makes the headset, probably, maybe even the glasses, it'll be like the Apple Watch, where it'll sort of be a hub of your iPhone. And eventually, just like probably with the Apple Watch as well, it will become independent from the iPhone. But I think it'll start that way. Derpy said, Greg's wearing shorts, not clickbait, 2020 confirmed. What was I saying? Yeah, because think of it just historically in terms of the Mac. The Mac used to have the iPod was dependent on the Mac. Like, in order to activate your iPod, you had to connect to iTunes, so you needed a computer. What else? I think even the first iPad, you had to have a computer to activate it. But eventually, Apple made iOS its own operating system independent of Mac OS. And I think the same thing will happen with Watch OS. I think the same thing will happen with this like Glasses OS, whatever it's called. It'll start out dependent, but then eventually it'll be independent from the iPhone. Average human being said, I am a 16-year-old student. I own an iPhone and work with an iPad Pro for school, but I'm planning on getting a MacBook Pro in the next couple months. Would you recommend the base model? Are you talking about the try to be specific when you guys ask for advice? Base model MacBook Pro 16-inch or base model MacBook Pro 13-inch? I'm assuming you're talking about the 13-inch because that's like the base cheapest model. To be honest, the base model 13-inch MacBook Pro isn't that much better performance-wise than the MacBook Air if you upgrade the MacBook Air to a quad-core processor instead of the dual-core processor on the base MacBook Air. But you're going to be getting a MacBook Air that's cheaper, thinner, lighter, and almost has the same, basically, performance as the baseline 13-inch MacBook Pro. You're not going to be getting the Touch Bar, but I don't think most people use the Touch Bar. I don't think that's a big deal. So honestly, you seem to just be doing some light work with it. I'm trying to find your comment again. Yeah. You're doing stuff for school. Get a MacBook Air. You might even be okay with a base model MacBook Air. But if you can afford the extra, I don't know what it is, $100 or $200, definitely upgrade the MacBook Air's dual-core processor to a quad-core processor. That's going to get you twice as much performance, and it's going to be a light product to carry around, and it'll be thin. It's going to be beautiful. I think you're going to love that. We have a new member, Daigon57. Thank you very much for becoming a new Secret Club member, and welcome to Greg's Secret Club. You will be watching the hour-long stream happening right after this stream. You get 2 hours worth of Greg just talking about absolutely nothing. Oh my God. And if you need a link to that live stream, it's already up. Just go to the community tab. You will see your members only posts. And there is a members only post with the live stream link for members only. Celery Towers, thank you for that $5 super chat. Celery Towers said, Celery Towers, this is your second super chat of the night. I really appreciate that. They said, my son is a content creator, like a YouTuber. So should I upgrade from iMovie? To be honest, there is a lot of stuff you can do with iMovie. I didn't even use a video editor until many years after I started making YouTube videos. I only used Keynote, which is a slideshow software. I exported it as a video file and then uploaded it straight to YouTube. My point is that tools can only get you so far. What really matters is the content your son is making. Now, if he has this great idea for content that's unique, it's really special, it's really cool, and he needs Final Cut Pro, then it would make sense. But just getting Final Cut Pro for the sake of it, I think might be intimidating. It's very complicated. It's much more advanced than iMovie. There's a lot more features in iMovie. But he might be ready for it. It just depends. I just want to make the point that there's a lot you can do with iMovie, and make sure your son is taking advantage of all those features iMovie has to offer until he feels restricted. Once he feels restricted, then he knows it's time to upgrade to Final Cut Pro. And then also it won't seem as overwhelming. We have a lot going on right now. Thank you guys so much. There's almost 200 people watching right now. I really appreciate it. Jay Woy, thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you for joining the Secret Club. Jay Woy, I look forward to seeing you in the live chat tonight after this live. I keep saying live chat instead of live stream. Can't wait to see you in the next live stream after this one ends tonight. Carl Borillo, thank you for that $5 super chat. Carl said, Thoughts on the 13-inch MacBook Air 2020? Great videos. Thank you very much. My thoughts on the 13-inch MacBook Air 2020. I love it. It is the best value Mac ever created. You get so much power, and I really love it because the thing about the 2015 MacBook is that it had a fantastic hardware design. It was compact, it was thin, it was light, it was really portable, it had good battery life. The problem was the performance. I remember my old roommate had the 2015 MacBook, and he would get like a Rainbow Beach ball just trying to like browse the internet or just trying to open mail. And it had a mobile processor, and that mobile processor just held it back so much. So when Apple kind of shifted focus to the MacBook Air and trying to make that as portable as possible while still including incredible performance, I mean, that is the sweet spot. They lowered the price from $1,100 to $1,000. It's an amazing deal. If you're a student or an educator, you can get $100 off even more, so that it's $900 if you're a student or a teacher. Incredible value. Cool guy said, I'm looking for a computer and do not have a big budget. What can I do to save money? Okay, look for a computer model that you like, maybe the MacBook Air because it's the cheapest. Look for a previous generation used MacBook Air. Maybe look for the 11-inch MacBook Air. Maybe look for an older 13-inch MacBook Air, maybe the 2017 or 2018 model. You can go on swappa.com or eBay, and you can find used versions of those for much less than paying for a new version. You can probably get one for $600. It's still going to be in good shape. Macs do last a while. So if you're only buying one that's a couple years old or a few years old, there's still at least 4 or 5 years of life left in that Mac. Kai Life, our member, said, hi Greg, how are you today? I am good, Kai. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the live stream, the members only live stream after this ends. Carl Barillo, thank you for that second super chat. I really appreciate that. $5. Carl said, my thoughts exactly. I have the dual core and I'm trying to figure out how to maximize performance without CPU overheating. Yeah, that's a good question. Dual core, that's a rough one. I definitely wouldn't run Final Cut on the dual core computer. I would stay with iMovie because Final Cut just takes up even more resources than iMovie. There is a way in settings, I don't know if you can do this on iMovie, but you can on Final Cut. There's a way to set like proxy media where when you import a clip, it will like compress that clip into a lower res version when you're editing it, so that you're not editing full HD video, which is going to be really hard on the processor. You're probably going to be editing like, I don't know, 480p video, which won't look great in the editing process. But once you're finished editing it, it'll make that process much smoother, and then you can export it as the original 1080p HD video. That's kind of a complicated process. I've never had to do it myself because my computer can handle the HD video I'm editing, but your son may want to look into that. There are many tutorials on YouTube to figure that out. Kylan Wilson, thank you for that $2 super chat. Kylan said, I need a phone, iPhone XS or SE. I have an iPod. Oh my goodness, Kylan, this is going to be your first smartphone. This is very, very exciting. You're getting into a completely new world. You're going to be free from Wi-Fi because you're stuck on Wi-Fi now with your iPod. You're going to be able to have internet access wherever you go. It's going to be so much fun. And the iPhone is going to have a much better camera. Okay, iPhone XS or the SE. I don't know why you're giving me that option. I guess you're going to buy a used iPhone XS. If you're buying a used iPhone XS, I would just recommend a used iPhone X. There's not too many differences hardware-wise with those two products. And you're going to be saving money. I think you're going to be saving money. Maybe not. If they're the same price, go ahead and buy the XS. There's no harm in that if it's the same price as the 10 used. But yeah, What you're getting with the SE for $400 is the updated processor, which is really fast. But keep in mind, even processors, Apple processors that are a couple years old, are still extremely fast. They perform extremely well, even though they're a couple years old. So it doesn't hurt to shop for, like you said, a used iPhone XS or a used iPhone X. I think those are going for about $400 also. And you're getting a lot more features. You're getting an edge-to-edge display. You're getting an OLED display instead of an LCD display. You're getting Face ID. You're getting a swipe gesture interface instead of the home button. You're getting a better camera system. Things like that I think you'll enjoy more if you get an iPhone XS or a used iPhone X. We're getting lots of super chats tonight, you guys. I really appreciate that. Faraz Abueda, good to see you tonight, Faraz. And thank you for that $5 super chat. Faraz said, when will you release a video on the unboxing and review of the smart keyboard? That is a very good question. I know a month ago I said I would get it out like this month. But the problem, I know I've said this before, but the problem is that now that my channel is so big and my videos get so many views, I have so many companies that want to sponsor my videos. And I want them to sponsor my videos because it allows me to keep making videos and to keep spending a whole lot of time on each video rather than just trying to make as many videos as possible. Because I could do that. I mean, I could just make a video like this, like, hey guys, it's Greg with Apple Explained, and today I want to give my opinion on the Apple Glasses rumor. When I think about Apple Glasses, is blah, 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 blah. But I don't want to make videos like that. I want to make videos that are well researched, that are just that have a script, so I'm not wasting your guys' time. I don't like videos that kind of drone on or like repeat the same thing over and over again. Those are videos that don't have scripts. I like to really organize what I'm saying to give you guys as much information in 10 minutes as possible. I try to make it as dense as possible. In order to do that, I have to do a lot of research and I have to spend a lot of time writing the script. And that's why I need sponsors, because then it's worth my time. They make it worth my time to spend that many hours on one video. Now, why am I saying all this? This is why I have scripts for my videos, or else I would just be going off the rails all the time. Oh yeah, so I will be making a review for the smart keyboard. I'm just backed up. I have a lot of videos I'm supposed to be making, and I haven't made them yet. I have to get them all out by the end of this month. It's like that happens every month. I never get them out on time. So I'm trying to get caught up on my regular videos, and then hopefully I will have the free time to make the video review. Also, my gosh, it's hot in here. Is my air not on right now? Whew, it is hot. Oh no, I'm just sweating up a storm for some reason. What was I saying? I feel like, also I have like a special side project that I'm working on that I'm really excited about. I am working on a project called, let me make sure I get this name right. It's called How Steve Jobs Changed the World. How Steve Jobs Changed the World. Because I've always wanted to make like a documentary long form video that's like an hour and 15 minutes long, like a movie length. And I want it to be about Steve Jobs. I've always wanted to talk about him because there are so many documentaries about Steve Jobs. There are documentaries that are 20 minutes to 30 minutes long. There are, like hour and a half long documentaries. There are biopics, like Ashton Kutcher with, who was that other guy who played Steve Jobs in that really good movie? Can't remember his name. But I've never seen a documentary that succinctly and clearly outlined why Steve Jobs is so iconic. Like, why is Steve Jobs considered to be one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time? they don't really explain that. What they explain is like his history. They explain his childhood. They explained how he started Apple. They explained sort of like his story, but they don't explain why everything he did was so significant. So I want to make like an hour-long video that explains. I'm going to break it down into different parts. I'm going to break it down into like part 1, Apple II. Why was the Apple II so significant? Part 2, Macintosh. Why was the Mac so life-changing? Part 3, Pixar, the iPod, iTunes, iPhone, iPad. I'm going to break down everything Steve Jobs did and clearly explain why they were so revolutionary so that people can get an idea of why Steve Jobs was so iconic as a business person. And again, I need free time to make that video as well. I'm hoping to get that out by his birthday, which would be February, but I don't know if I can make that deadline or not, because this is going to be like, I mean, you know, it's going to be like making 6 or 7 videos all into one. Julian Johnson, thank you for that $5 super chat. Julian said, I'm wondering how often you test the competition. Prior to a 5S in 2015, I had BlackBerry, Galaxy, even Windows phones. I almost feel closed-minded now. You know what? I agree with you, Julian. I totally agree. I do feel closed-minded, absolutely. There's only so much you can understand when you don't use the product. And I will absolutely admit that. I don't use Android phones. I've never used an Android phone. I've only like demoed them in a store. I mean, technically, we did have a Windows PC when I was a kid for a period of time, but I never really used it that much. And I don't use Windows now. I don't use a Chromebook. So you're absolutely right. In some ways, that does make me closed-minded, or not closed-minded, but it makes me ignorant to certain aspects of the product. I don't really understand it fully. But there are things you can understand by reading about it, by reading other people's reviews, other people's experiences, but also reading about positive things. I mean, there are negative things that people say about Android, but there's also Android owners who love their smartphone. And I want to know why Android users love their product and why they don't like iOS. And I try to understand that the best I can without actually using the product. But you're right. That's why, I mean, you can't totally take the opinion of one person and put all of your weight on that opinion, because like you said, there is no one person that's experienced everything. So take everything I say just with that understanding that I am biased toward Apple. I do prefer iOS, I prefer Macs, but I try to give as best of a opinion as possible without being too biased. Kylan Wilson, thank you for that $2 super chat. Kylan, this is your second super chat of the night. I really appreciate that. Kylan said, what computer should I get? MacBook Pro or MacBook? Well, right, if you're talking about a used MacBook, you can always get one of those. I think you can get one for $500 or $600. But I would look into a used MacBook Air if you're trying to save money. If you want the best performance, then you should get like the 16-inch MacBook Pro. It just depends on what you want in a product. Mark Mostazo said, why aren't Apple Cash and Apple Card available in other countries outside the US? That's a good question. I think it's just for like logistical reasons. I think it's for like legal reasons. I think it's going to take Apple a long time to get all of the approval and to get through the bureaucracy of establishing a partnership with banks in different countries, to get approved with the government. I mean, I'm sure there's things they have to do. I don't know exactly, but I'm sure there's things they have to do to get that set up in foreign countries. Just like it took Apple a while to get the iPhone available in other countries, because they have to work with carriers. They have to partner with the carrier, get approval from the government to sell a smartphone. I think it'll be a similar situation, but I think they are trying to roll it out as quickly as possible. Again, if you guys want your questions answered for sure, make sure to join our free Discord server. Link for that in the description. You can ask one question on the after stream. I will be there an hour after this stream ends to answer your guys' question in a Q&A video that I post exclusively on our Discord server. That's free. Now, if you want to ask me questions anytime, 24/7, then that's when you want to join the secret club. The secret club costs $3 a month. You get like a secret status on our Discord server where you can access me every day, ask me questions anytime. You can also watch the live stream. It's a members only live stream. It's happening after this one for an hour. So if you want an extra hour of a live stream and you want to be one of the only people asking me questions in that live stream, then be sure to join the secret club because I will be on right after this ends. Nicholas Corradino said, why do you think Apple makes all their products in China? That's actually a really good question. I'm gonna make that a topic for a video. Let me write that down real fast. Where is my... Why Apple makes their products in China. Although I will say, when I make videos about China, like anything about China, there is a brigade, like a Chinese brigade that takes over the comment section that dislikes the video if I say anything like remotely critical of China. Or even at a Chinese company. If you guys saw my video about Huawei, I think I made one video about Huawei. And it was sort of like a negative or sort of like a criticism. Oh my goodness, that's when I realized like China really does have people online, probably on the Chinese government payroll, that are out there making sure there is no criticism of China. Obviously, their government is a totalitarian regime. They do not live in a democracy by any stretch of the imagination. And just by saying that, I get a lot of backlash from that brigade. So I would like to make a video about that. Let me answer your question. I don't know why I'm even going off on that question. Why does Apple make their products in China? Because it's for two reasons. I'm not just going to hate on China the entire time. You have to give China credit where it's due. They have an incredible manufacturing infrastructure that the US just does not have. US, during the Industrial Revolution, we had great manufacturing infrastructure, but we sort of transitioned from heavy industry to what's the next era that happened? We went from the Industrial Revolution to the something revolution. And then, that's when our manufacturing started shifting to other countries because it was cheaper. Our labor started getting more expensive. But China has an incredible manufacturing infrastructure. We don't really think about it very much, but just imagine trying to make 1 million smartphones like in a week. I mean, that is a huge task. That is a huge undertaking to make millions and millions of products in a limited amount of time. And it's hard to find any manufacturer in America that can do that. I mean, American manufacturing is good at manufacturing a lot of parts. Like Corning Glass can make the glass for the iPhone in large quantities, but it's difficult to find a company that can assemble the entire product quickly. But China is good at that. So that's part of the reason why Apple uses China. The other reason is that their labor is incredibly cheap. It's much cheaper than if you were to pay someone to put something together in America. But Apple understands that they're very reliant on China, and China has been using that to their advantage. And Apple and other companies in the US do not want to be beholden to China. So they're trying to shift as much manufacturing to other countries as possible. They're trying to spread out their manufacturing. They're doing more manufacturing in India than ever before. They just shifted some manufacturing to, I believe, Taiwan. And I think we're going to see that more and more as Apple tries to be more and more independent from China, because it's just not good from a strategic perspective to have all of your manufacturing eggs in one China basket. Gabe Vincent said, "What is your least favorite iPhone?" By the way, I love your videos. Can you do a history on the Samsung Galaxy J? Samsung Galaxy J? What is that? Samsung... I never heard of the J. Galaxy J? Oh, J series. Oh, it looks like a really, really cheap. Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. What was your initial question? What was your initial question? Oh, shoot. Oh, I forget the initial question. What was it? Oh, I forget. I'm sorry, and I can't even see. I can't find your comment anymore. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Try to post your comment again, and I'll try to catch it. I totally forgot what you said. I get distracted. I'm really hot right now. Louis Angel Vasquez Fierro said, "How did you design your Apple Explained logo?" Well, I used Illustrator. Now, if you guys have been with the channel for a while, you'll know that Apple Explained has had many, many different logos. Probably half a dozen logos in the past 12 months. And that's just because I've been experimenting with them off and on. I was never really happy with the logo, even from the beginning. And I finally am happy with this one. I really think I'm going to settle with this logo. What I did is I tried to have as much like Apple inspiration as possible. Like I want as many Apple elements in my logo as possible so that when someone sees it, it feels like the Apple aesthetic. Also the color scheme as well. And before, I never really tried to do that with my Apple Explained logo, but then that was sort of the design goal, I guess, of the current logo. And so what I did is I took the Genius Bar logo and I used like part of that and I integrated it with like an Apple style A. And then I used the Genius Bar like circular things to cross in front of the A to look like it's like crossing the A. And I tried to make the swirly things kind of dynamic, like that the line is thicker in front than it is in the back. And then I also I kind of used the Genius Bar logo a lot to make this Apple Explain logo. I even copied some of the color scheme. So I hope Apple doesn't send me any emails here soon. Oh my gosh. Gomez Max said, thoughts on selling merch online, would totally buy. What kind of merch do you want, Gomez? I don't really know. I don't really know what kind of merch. Like, do you just want an Apple Explained logo on a shirt? I mean, I can do that pretty easily. Seon, yeah, I know he said to do a history of Samsung Galaxy J, but there was a question before that he asked, and I forgot about it. Ness Ramos. Thank you very much, Ness, who is a secret club member, for that $2 super chat. Ness said his question was least favorite iPhone. Oh, yes! Thank you, Ness. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat just to tell me. My least favorite iPhone is definitely the XS. And I'll tell you why. When the XS came out, it was the most disappointing iPhone update in history. It was the most insignificant update there has ever been. So I was just really disappointed with the keynote, and I was really disappointed with the features. Basically, I think Apple, like, since they made the XS Max, and it was the first time they made a larger version of the 10, they sort of used that as a headlining feature, like, oh, it has a larger display now. But the iPhone XS doesn't have a larger display. The XS Max has a larger display. It's a completely different model. So why would you use that as a headlining feature? Well, the reason why they did it is because they had no other feature to promote. I mean, the only upgrades was what? Focus pixel, which was like the aperture adjustment with the camera system, which that was pretty much a software feature, and a faster processor and stereo audio. Very, very small, insignificant improvements. So I was not very impressed with that at all. T. Singh said, why do you have so many HomePods? Does it provide a good enough home theater experience? Yeah, I mean, I have so many just because, well, I kind of got carried away. I started with one because I found it for $100. It was so cheap I had to buy it. I wasn't even looking to buy one. And I loved it. I really did. And I thought, oh, if I could have stereo audio, this would be awesome. So I found another affordable HomePod for $185. I bought that as my second one. I set it up in stereo mode, and I really liked it. It's really good for movies. And then I thought, what if I could have the sound? What if I could have the sound coming from behind me and in front of me? Because you can do that with AirPlay. You can link it all together wirelessly, which is really cool. And so then I did that when Best Buy had a sale. I bought two more for $177 each. And I put it behind me, which is over there. And I linked it together. I really do like it. It's great for music. It's really awesome. It's great for the home theater. It doesn't support like surround sound. So it doesn't have that kind of thing. But it does just do the stereo from in front of you and from behind you, which just evens out the experience a little bit. Derpy, our moderator and secret club member, said, have you ever played Portal? If not, you should. I have not played Portal. I have seen, I know about Portal, but I haven't played it myself. I will say this. I just discovered a new game, a new computer game. Called Cities Skylines. I don't know if you know this game, but it's sort of like SimCity, except it's more advanced. And I think it's better than SimCity. And I love it. I've always wanted a really good city builder game, but I could never find it. There was one I discovered, but it was like super, super complicated, and I couldn't even begin to understand how to play it, and it wasn't fun at all. But this one, Cities Skylines, is really amazing. It was only $30, and I've already spent a lot of time playing it, and I really love it. I'm building my city right now. Actually, I will show you guys my city on the on Discord. So if you want to see my city, I'll show you on Discord. Make sure you join, or be on the Secret Club. I'll show you guys after this live. I'll show you guys during the Secret Club live stream. It's a lot of fun, and they have expansion packs. What's really cool is that when you buy the base game, you can upgrade to the expansion packs, or the DLC they call it, right from Steam, because it's available on Steam. And since it's all online, it's like the App Store except for video games, like for computer video games. It's really awesome. It's really awesome. You can just buy it. I bought a couple DLC expansion packs for $13 each. It updates immediately, because I don't know if you guys realize this. That may not sound impressive to you, but back in my day, when I played Sims on the computer, in the 2000s, you had to go out to Target or Walmart and pay $60 for the Sims game, and then you had to pay an extra $30 for the expansion packs, and you had to go out and buy them. They were CDs that you would put in your computer. You had to load them onto your computer, download it, and then restart it. It was a whole process, but now it's instant, and it's even more affordable, which is really awesome. I love Steam. I love this game. I'm not a big gamer, but I have been into that, and my Mac can easily handle the graphics, which is great. We have a new Secret Club member. Thank you, Alex, for joining my Secret Club. I am looking forward to seeing you on the live stream that's starting in 1 minute. So if I am done with this live stream, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you didn't get your question answered, be sure to join our Discord server. I will be on there in about an hour in the after stream section. I will answer 1 question per person and post a Q&A video there. But if you want to keep watching a live stream, be sure to become a Secret Club member. It's only $3 a month. And you can watch another hour of a live stream right now. I mean, it's going to start right after I end this one. So be sure to become a member if you want to watch another hour live stream every week. And plus you get to see my videos 1 or 2 days early, and you get to see my videos with no sponsorship in the middle. And you get to have your own little section on Discord. So anyway, that's what the Secret Club is all about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all the super chats and all the questions. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And members, make sure you check the community tab. There is a link to the live stream in the community tab for members only, and we'll do our first hour live stream starting now.